So moving on, let's look at simplifying expressions with integers. So to do so, we're going to apply the order of operations from the previous section. So this was GEJMDAS. Whenever you're simplifying expressions with integers, stay extra mindful of negative signs. It's easy to lose track of them. And if you lose track of them, you can do everything right. You miss one negative sign and the whole thing is wrong. Okay, so let's look at example part A. So we have -2 to the fourth power. Now notice that -2 is inside parentheses, which means this fourth power is being applied to -2. So what this means is that our base is going to be multiplied to itself 4 times. So -2 to the fourth power is going to be -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. Now, let's break this up into smaller pieces. So whenever you have a negative times a negative, okay, it becomes a positive, and 2 times 2 is 4. And here we have a negative times a negative, it'll be positive, and 2 times 2 is 4. And a +4 times a +4 will be 16. So -2 to the fourth power is going to be 16. Now, this next example, part B, looks very similar to part A. But notice the difference here is that in part A, there was a pair of parentheses, and in part B, there are not. So what this means is that this exponent of 4 is being applied to the 2 only, not the negative as well. So what we've got here is -2 to the fourth is -2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So the base is 2, and it's to the fourth power, which means 2 is being multiplied to itself 4 times. And so, here 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. And this negative stays. Nothing was ever multiplied to it. So -2 to the fourth power is -16. So see the difference here. This one is a -16. This is a +16. Just because of where we had a pair of parentheses here, but we did not have parentheses there. All right, let's look at this next one. So this next one is a combination of the two properties that we just saw. So this left-hand side is like part B that we just saw. And this right-hand side is just like part A that we just saw. So -2 to the third power is going to be negative. So we're going to have 2 3 times. And then over here, we're going to have -2 2 times. All right. Let's see here. So what I'm kind of noticing off the bat is that on the right-hand side, we have a negative times a negative. So that's going to give us a +4. And we've got juxtaposition, so we got multiplication here. And 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then don't forget that negative. We have to carry that down. And so now we've got -8 times +4. So we have one sign, we have one negative, so the signs are different, which means that the product is going to be negative, and 8 times 4 is 32. So the answer for example C is -32. Okay, now let's look at this next one. So this next one, GEJMDAS is going to come into play a little bit more um, because we have exponents and we have division. And we've got implied multiplication here. So in terms of order, which comes first, exponents, division, or juxtaposition? Well, exponents comes second. So we're going to end up doing that first. So let's do that first. So here we've got 8 times -9 divided by -2, -2, -2. And let's see, with 8 times -9 divided by. And so here now we've got 3 negative signs. So 2 negative signs will be a positive, and then you'll have this third negative sign out here. And whenever the signs are different, it's going to have a negative result. So this will be a -8. All right. So now looking at what we've got juxtaposition here and division there. So according to order of operations, juxtaposition comes before division. So let's do the juxtaposition next. So 8 times -9 is going to be -72, and that's divided by -8. And since you've got two integers with the same sign, the result is going to be positive, and 72 divided by 8 is 9. How did I know right off the bat? Well, it's on the previous page, but I memorized my multiplication tables from 1 to 12. So that kind of helps me kind of do that there. All right, now let's look at part E. So part E, we've got division, we have addition, right here, we have juxtaposition. So looking at order of operations, we can see that juxtaposition should come ahead of division and addition. So let's do the juxtaposition first. So we have -30 divided by 2 plus, and we have a negative times a negative. So when the signs are the same, it becomes positive. And 3 times 7 is 21. All right. Again, we've got addition. Over here we have division. And when we look over here at order of operations, division comes before addition. So we'll do the division. So a -30 divided by a +2, negative and positive, different signs. So the result will be negative. And 30 divided by 2 is 15. And that's going to be plus 21. And -15 plus 21 is going to be a +6. All right. So these are 5 examples of simplifying expressions, keeping in mind the order of operations. I've got 2 more examples here for you to try. So let me give you the answer to these 2. You can try them on your own and keep working at it until you get the correct answer. So the answer for this one should be 4. And the answer to this one should be +21.